Right now on NBC 26 Live at 10, helping Florida recover. Emergency crews all over the state now rescuing people in dire need after Hurricane Irma.
We spent almost 4 or 5 hours hunkered in our bathroom, no electricity. It sounds like a freight train overhead, the walls shake.
And a survivor from St. Thomas who's taking refuge in Wisconsin talks about the scary moments during the hurricane.
And deadly flight, deputies trying to figure out why a pilot flying his aircraft crashed to his death. Thanks for being with us tonight. The full extent of destruction power from Hurricane Irma is being revealed in Florida. Across the state, homes were destroyed, power was knocked out, and thousands of Floridians are now in need of water, food, and fuel.
And that storm also claimed more than 50 lives in the southeast and overseas. NBC's Dan Sheneman reports.
Hurricane Irma has gone, but its impact can be seen all over Florida. In the Keys, firefighters went door to door looking for victims.
Fire department.
Those who rode out the storm sound shaken.
The sound was, it just is a monster. I just can't even describe it.
Residents who left before Irma arrived have started to return home.
It looks like a tornado went through.
Rubble is littered across the landscape. Where a home once stood, there is now a pile of debris. Residents say they will need immediate help.
We're going to need food like tomorrow. So fresh water, they said they would turn on the water between 11 and 12. It didn't happen.
Elsewhere, some are waiting for water to finally recede. A river near Tampa overflowed because of the storm's rain. And near West Palm Beach, first floor residents at this flooded apartment building have been ordered to leave.
40 hours to get out and no money. No money. Nothing.
Much of the state is also powerless. The storm knocked out electricity to some 15 million customers. It's the largest power restoration in U.S. history.
This storm essentially covered the entire state of Florida, and we've never had that before.
Crews from several states are in Florida working to restore the power, but it could be several weeks before everyone is back online. Dan Sheneman, NBC News.
Wisconsin Public Service will be sending crews to help restore power following Hurricane Irma. More than 20 WPS employees will leave tomorrow. Right now, 75 contract employees are in the area helping with relief efforts.
Wisconsin National Guard members originally on their way to Florida to help with hurricane relief are now on their way back. Late this afternoon, a spokesman with the Guard said at the request of Florida, those troops on the way will turn around and come back home. According to Captain Joe Travato, Florida is doing better than expected, which is why they don't need troops to respond. This morning, we were there as troops were gathering supplies to leave Appleton, and many we spoke with say they were excited to have a mission helping those impacted by the hurricane.
It's nice to have a mission, an actual mission. We do a lot of training, and we train for our federal mission, but it's nice to see everyone come together and the team spirit.
This is who we are in the National Guard. We're the first military responder in times of emergency, and we take that job very seriously. And but we also hope that there are no emergencies that require our assistance.
Captain Travato says about 700 Wisconsin troops are already in Florida. Those troops will remain there, helping with humanitarian aid and security. Well, it is a story you'll only see on NBC 26. A lot of cleanup efforts have been focused on Florida, but tonight we're learning more about the Virgin Islands in the Caribbean, where Irma was a Category 5 at its worst, killing nearly 30 people. NBC 26's Eric Kress spoke with a survivor from St. Thomas who's taking refuge in Wisconsin.
Just 3 days before Hurricane Irma made it to Florida's south coast, it hit St. Thomas, an island with about 60,000 isolated residents.
This storm was a big storm. There really was no option to evacuate. There's no way to get 60,000 people out of harm's way.
Amber Ambrose was raised on the island, and her 3 kids and husband were as prepared as they could be. But Irma was one of the strongest storms in history.
This storm really kept growing and growing and growing. It appeared that it was still just going to graze us.
By the time they realized they were right in the path of Irma, there was only one thing left to do.
We spent almost 4 or 5 hours hunkered in our bathroom, no electricity. It sounds like a freight train overhead. The walls shake, the doors shake, the children go in the bathtub. I can guarantee every bathroom on St. Thomas, children are in the bathtub, adults are braced against the door, and you ride it out for hours like that.
After Irma passed, nothing could prepare Ambrose for what she'd see next. Roofs were torn clean off, trees and electric lines were scattered everywhere, grocery stores and gas stations were left with little to nothing to sell. This was the case across the island.
You don't know what you're going to see at any given point, no matter where you look.
Ambrose, her kids, and mom are safe now, staying with friends in Wisconsin. But she hopes by sharing her story, folks on the mainland will realize that this one-of-a-kind hurricane impacted more than just Florida's coast. With NBC 26, I'm Eric Crest.
Ambrose hopes Wisconsinites will consider donating to the Virgin Islands Relief Fund, adding it will likely be years before her hometown starts looking like it did before the storm. Well, it's time now for your first forecast. It might be September, but summer is not going away just yet.
And now Cameron joins us now. Cameron, does this warm weather stick around?
It does stick around for the rest of the week and into the weekend. So if you like the summer-like weather we saw today, you're in luck. Now tonight we've got quiet weather here in northeast Wisconsin. We have clear skies and calm winds, and that combined with temperatures in the upper 50s and dew points in the upper 50s is a recipe for some fog. Visibilities are slowly coming down. We do have some patchy, dense ground fog developing across the area right now, but later on tonight it appears the fog will become a little more widespread. It'll be dense at times. Tomorrow morning, keep that in mind as you head off to work and school. Temps will be in the lower 50s, but by the final bell, it's back to summer with lots of sunshine and temperatures right around 80 degrees. Back to you.
Cameron, thank you. Developing news tonight. One man is dead after his small aircraft crashes into a field in Winnebago County. Now, police say it happened just around 8:30 this morning on County Road G near State Highway 76, all in the town of Vinland. NBC 26's Shane Gustafson has that latest.
A loud crash fills the air of a usually quiet soybean field in Vinland Tuesday. Karen Brzee heard it from her house.
Your mind kicks in to think, okay, what can I do for this person? They're hurt, so you try and respond in any way you can.
Brzee called 911 before finding the 68-year-old man from Appleton, already dead. The Winnebago County Sheriff's Office says he was the only one in the aircraft at the time, what they describe as an ultralight. The Winnebago County Sheriff's Office says it could take several weeks or even months to determine exactly what led up to this crash, even as investigators were on scene all day, trying to put the pieces together.
We take our cues from the FAA and the NTSB on what type of investigation needs to happen, and our crash reconstruction units out here because they've got specialized equipment to measure off the roadway, which is why they're here.
Brzee's family members helped load the plane out of their field and onto a tow truck. The family says their hearts go out to the family of the pilot.
Sometimes we take life for granted. The poor guy was probably thinking it was a beautiful day to go for a ride, and unfortunately he died.
The Winnebago County Sheriff's Office is handling the investigation. In Vinland, Shane Gustafson, NBC 26.
Now, the name of the man from Appleton hasn't been released tonight since his family hasn't been notified. The Sheriff's Department expects that to come out sometime tomorrow.
The Fox Valley racing community coming together to help the family of Jeff O'Robbie, who was killed in a crash at Wisconsin International Speedway Friday night. Next Saturday, September 23rd, the Oshkosh Speed Zone Raceway plans to raise money through their 50-50 raffle for his family. They will also have a helmet pass where spectators, drivers, and pit crews can donate as well. We have more information about this event on our website.
Green Bay police have found the bottle that forced 2 buildings at NWTC to be evacuated this morning. Students were allowed back in after the Brown Outagamie County Bomb Squad determined it wasn't an explosive. Green Bay police say they got a call around 10 a.m. about the suspicious bottle on campus. Officers say they located the item and evacuated a student housing building and a transportation center where students were taking classes.
I came back from my class and I was doing my homework, and then I got a knock on the door, and it was a police officer saying that I needed to get out because there was a package outside.
Student safety is our #1 concern here, and so we just wanted to, since we didn't know what the device was, we evacuated the areas around where it was found.
Green Bay police are still investigating why the bottle was outside of the building.
A man accused of killing his ex-girlfriend and her mother has been ruled competent to stand trial. A judge has allowed 26-year-old Jacob Kayer to obtain his own defense team. Police say Kayer killed the two women by stabbing them in Hobart back in June of 2016. Officers say they then found him hiding in the woods behind the home. He'll be back in court in October. Day one of testimony in the trial for one of the girls charged in the Slender Man stabbing case. Anissa Wyer's father was the first defense witness today. He said his daughter went through trying times after her parents' divorce, but he never saw anything to suggest she needed mental health care. Later, the lead investigator took the stand talking about his interrogation of Morgan Geyser, the other girl charged in this case.
The terms of the person changed a little bit. At first it was a man, then it was Slender Man, but very few references. Most times the response was is because it was necessary, and that's what Anissa told me that we had to do.
Wyer has admitted to stabbing her classmate 3 years ago. It's up to jurors to decide if she had a mental illness at the time.
The Wisconsin State Senate is giving the green light to a bill that would help bring the tech giant Foxconn to the Badger State. The bill was passed 2013 with bipartisan support and entails a $3 billion cash payment to the Taiwan-based company. Senate leaders say this bill would have a positive impact on the state of Wisconsin in the long run. Now, some state leaders are opposing the bill. Representative Amanda Stuck joined protesters at Houdini Plaza in Appleton, specifically calling on Senator Roger Roth not to vote on the $3 billion Foxconn incentive package, saying there aren't enough protections.
I think it's just good that representatives know, whether it's myself or Senator Roger Roth, that we know that people are standing up, that they have concerns about this, that they don't like paying a $1 billion corporation out of their pockets. They don't like corporate welfare. So I think it's just important that representatives get that message.
Now, Senator Roth did vote in favor of that bill. The state assembly is set to vote on it on Thursday.
Health officials and the public meeting tonight to discuss the health effects wind turbines might have on people who live near them. Some people who live near the Shirley Wind Farm in Glenmore say the turbines have been causing them to get sick. And tonight, several Brown County health officials made presentations on how the turbines could cause symptoms like headaches for those living nearby.
That is a constant. It can hover over your house and never leave. It's the train in your backyard that never moves.
I also think that for public policy, that is where turbines or any other industrial site should be set, what noise level should be associated, distances and so forth, that should be based on good solid science.
Well, still ahead here on NBC 26 Live at 10, looking for revenge, what the Packers need to do to beat the Falcons, who ended their playoff run last year.
Plus, taking a ride in this week's Small Towns, a look at a club picking up a lot of steam in Brown County.
You are connected to NBC 26 News at 10 with Cassandra Duvall, John Erickson, Chief Meteorologist Cameron Moreland, and Sports Director Charlie Sakaitis. NBC 26 News at 10, keeping you connected. And now, your Storm Shield forecast with NBC 26 Chief Meteorologist Cameron Moreland.
Well, if you're a fan of summer, you're a fan of what happened today, and you're going to be a fan of what I'm about to show you. Your 7-day temperature trend. Look at that. Some summer-like heat will persist as we move through the rest of the work week into the weekend. In fact, on Saturday, it looks like temperatures could get up into the mid-80s. That's ahead of a cold front that'll cool us down a little bit for Monday and Tuesday. Right now, temperatures across northeast Wisconsin range from the lower 50s in Mountain to the mid-60s in Appleton. That is very summer-like, sitting at 66 degrees here at 10:16 at night. Take a look at the time lapse from earlier this evening. Another beautiful sunset, and once again, just like the last several sunsets, the sun is setting behind some smoke coming in from western wildfires, and we'll continue to see that smoke in our skies as we head through the rest of the work week. Storm Shield radar shows quiet weather across Wisconsin tonight. High pressure is in control of our weather, and directly underneath that ridge of high pressure and just off to the west of it today, it was feeling like summer. Temperatures were in the 80s, 90s, even some 100s. No, we're not going to get that hot, as you just saw, but that heat is going to be building east here as we head through the next couple of days. Today was the warmest day of the month. It was also the warmest day in 2 weeks, and usually during the month of September, we have about a handful of days with highs up into the 80s. So far this month, we have had one day, but we're going to be adding to that total starting tomorrow with highs right around 80 degrees. Skycast shows fair skies tonight, but you can see that patchy, dense fog developing by tomorrow morning. Once that fog burns off, mostly sunny skies for the rest of the day. Fair skies tomorrow night, maybe a little bit of fog, and then another sunny day is expected on Thursday with high temperatures once again feeling more like July than September. So your forecast for tonight calls for fair skies. We'll see that fog developing across the area. Once again, it could be quite dense in spots tomorrow morning. Overnight lows will be in the lower 50s. Tomorrow, becoming mostly sunny with highs right around 80. That is my 3-degree guarantee for tomorrow. If I can hit that high within 3 degrees, we will donate $100 to Growing Oshkosh, and we did that today. I forecast 78, and the actual high temperature was 81 degrees, about 10 degrees above normal for this time of year. 10 degrees above normal once again on Thursday and Friday. Looks like mid-80s on Saturday. That's for the Fox Valley. A little cooler near the shoreline of Lake Michigan, but a little bit warmer towards central Wisconsin. A cold front on Sunday will kick off some showers and thunderstorms with the clouds and the chance for some rain. It'll cool down a little bit. Then northerly winds on Monday and Tuesday will cool us down to seasonable levels as we start the work week, but as we wrap up the next work week, it looks like summer is going to return once again with temperatures getting back up into the 80s.
I don't think anybody's complaining about a little bit more summer for us.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Typically in about 90 days, we start talking about, you know, snow on the ground and wind chills
And
below zero.
accumulations.
So yeah, enjoy this weather while
None
we have
of that
it.
for us right now.
Cam.
Sounds good.
All right, well, thanks so much, Cam. Well, after the break and making the move despite the Week 1 win, the Packers making a couple of tough roster decisions.
And several small towns squeezed into one. A look at the unique nature of a growing club in Brown County. Every Tuesday, we take you on a ride to explore the sights, sounds, and places in Wisconsin you might have never experienced before.
Tonight, that ride brings us to De Pere, where NBC 26's Eric Kress found us a ride on a small town's model railroad car.
Just off of North Broadway in De Pere, in the Kress Family Library's basement, there are several small towns squeezed into one pretty beautiful representation.
All the towns, De Pere, Oshkosh, Little Chute, Neenah, Menasha, they're all here on the layout.
This place, with heavy visual suggestions of Northeast Wisconsin, was built piece by piece by the Green Bay Area Model Railroaders Club.
What you're looking at is over 5 years worth of work and construction by many, many members. And you know, it's an ongoing process. It still isn't completed.
With over 2,000 feet of track, this ride will take about 15 minutes to get from Green Bay to Fond du Lac. But don't get caught up in the numbers. Model railroading members don't.
I'm on the wrong side of 70 as far as age, but I got started when I was about 8, 9 years old with a Lionel train running around the Christmas tree.
Each layout or scene can take upwards of months to complete, but if creating the perfect backdrop isn't your thing, there's still plenty that could catch your interest.
You've got that motion of the valve gear. You got the steam coming out. You got that smoke. You got that chugging sound.
It's a hands-on hobby where you can learn how to model things, how to build structures, how to do electrical work, whatever, you know, they want to do, it's here.
This is the Green Bay Area Model Railroaders Club, a group of men and women dedicated to recreating history and preserving it too.
What is now the Titletown Brewery was back then the Chicago Northwestern Depot.
And while they continue maintaining the tracks of Northeast Wisconsin on a miniature scale, they hope their passion will brush off on the next generation of model railroaders down the line. Covering small towns in De Pere, I'm Eric Kress with NBC 26.
And the Green Bay Area Model Railroaders Club is open to the public every Thursday from 3 p.m. to